Hello, everyone. Welcome to Highways and Hilltops. This week we'll be covering episode 20. This is our 2025 summer road trip, and this will be part 2. On this part, we're going to talk about Dollywood.
Yeah, Dollywood. Woohoo! It was so much fun. So if you guys were with us in episode 19, that was part 1 of our 2025 summer road trip. And so you know we have been to Arkansas and now we are in Tennessee. And we've got a lot more ground we're going to cover with you over the next few weeks and lots of stories to tell about this road trip.
Yep, only a few days in. We got a big trip. I think we said this before, over 5,000 miles and 27, 28 days, something like that. So
Yeah.
here we are. We've came this far, and now we're at Dollywood.
It was crazy. All right, so we went to Horseshoe Bend, Arkansas, Hurricane Mills, Tennessee, and now we have landed in Pigeon Forge. At the end of episode 19, we told you how we had visited the historic Old Mill Square in Pigeon Forge and eat at the historic Old Mill restaurant. And we talked about those corn fritters. So I hope if you guys go to Pigeon Forge, you're going to stop in there and eat a corn fritter because it's worth it. Um, Also, we talked about the Pigeon Forge Gatlinburg KOA holiday, how it laid right in there by that creek, and you can actually park at the KOA and walk down to the mill, which we now know.
Yeah, this is a fun place. You've got the little trout stream running right through, right beside the camp, right through this old mill area. Everything is right there, like you said, within walking distance. You can really tell that this place is used to getting a lot of tourists for Dollywood, but this whole area is just really fun.
Yeah, it is. And maybe the coolest thing was that Dollywood's the entryway to Dollywood is literally like 3 minutes from the KOA. It's really not that far.
Yeah, it's very close.
Yeah. All right. So this was our first big road trip in our Brinkley Z3100. So at this point, we're on night number 3. And we've had no real problems so far, right?
You know, I really expected to have some problems. We talked about this a lot in the episode where we talked about comparing what RV would you buy. I'm carrying a lot of tools at this point. I mean, you name it. I'm really prepared. I even had a nail gun at one point, right? To just and I will say that after this trip and when we got home, I took a bunch of stuff out.
Hmm.
Um, RV does very, very well. We've seen so many people on this trip and we've seen the other issues they've had. I talked a lot about suspension and how important that is.
Hmm.
I could tell you that, and I mentioned in the previous episode about some squeaking.
Yep.
I did find, even though I asked several times from the dealer when we purchased this, if there are any grease zerks on the suspension, and they're like, no, 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 you're good. Just repack the bearings every 12,000 miles or every year. Well, I did get a little squeaking later on this trip,
Yep.
and I did find some grease zerks. So
Yep.
it really doesn't matter whether it's the wet bolts or what. You just have to get acquainted with your RV. It seems like every time you switch RVs, it just doesn't matter how experienced you are. It's just like you're starting over. It's just like you're a rookie. But anyway, the suspension done very well on this thing. Um, Later on, I'm going to do it in one of our trips. I'm going to get in the back in a safe place, of course. And I'm going to have you drive. I want to be back there to see what it's like. 'Cause I really feel like this coil spring suspension with the shocks and stuff. I really feel like it must be really great. It must be like the horse trailers we used to talk about.
Hmm.
So anyway, I did get some squeaking. I thought there were no grease zerks. I thought, here we go again. This is just going to be just another one of those RV things, right? I'm going to have to put up with it. But I found out that when I greased them, it went away. So I was really excited. Um, if you've got one of these and they tell you there is no grease zerks, there is. There's a deal called a trail arm. So basically, you have this big coil spring like on a truck, and then you have these big shock absorbers, which is fantastic, by the way.
That's the orange things, right?
Orange
The
things.
orange things. Under ours, the shock absorbers are orange.
Yeah, I think they're
Okay.
orange. I don't think I think they're orange, but whatever. But anyway, um, basically it has a coil spring again, shocks. It's got this what they call a trail arm. So off of that main axle, there's a big heavy arm that comes up and bolts in. It keeps everything square and straight. And there is an articulating joint on that. It's really, really heavy. Mine were dry. So apparently, when they built this and put it together, they probably greased it by hand, put it together, and everything was fine. But so many people just don't know. I don't hate to bash dealers, and I won't say their name, but they just don't know,
Mhm.
right? So you have to do all this investigation yourself and get real handy. During this trip, I don't know how many hours would that be at this point, 8 or 9 hours. I begin to get a little bit of a squeak. And when I say a squeak,
Yeah,
it's more like when it rocked, it kind of creaked a little bit.
like a like
Yeah,
that.
it wasn't bad or anything. It's just, they're expensive. We try to take good care of them. We definitely want this one to last, right? Because it's very
Mhm.
expensive. So anyway, got on there and greased them. They were dry, and problem solved. So on each of these four, where each wheel is, there's two axles, there's four wheels, but where each of these coil springs is, I should say, there's a trail arm that comes off of that, and there's an articulating joint. If you'll look right out on the end of them, there's a grease zerk. Now the good thing is they're really heavy, and it looks like probably greasing at one time will last a long time. But anyway, so we got that fixed. So that made me happy, even though I had to go look for it. Um, I bought or I stole a yoga mat from you, right?
Yeah, you stole
And
my
I
yoga.
just decided that I'm just going to get under this thing from end to end, and I'm going to figure everything out. So I got me a light, got on this pad where I wouldn't, just be crawling on my back, and I just checked everything out good. So that was really good. Got that thing fixed. Another thing was we talked about the Starlink a little bit and how
Mhm.
much we liked it. I will say we learned some tricks.
Yes, we did.
Um, so the Starlink is fantastic. We love it. We've got games going, 2 Zoom calls. We're uploading and downloading things for our podcasts, going out to the website, doing that work. It does fantastic. And I
Mhm.
would even say, and I'll go against the grain, and I know people probably will argue with me on this, but we've even had it partially obstructed in trees and it works good.
Yeah,
But we did find a place it didn't work.
we did. Last week, I had a conference in El Dorado, Arkansas. And I don't know if y'all are familiar with El Dorado, Arkansas, but let's just say it's like really close to the Louisiana border. So it is South Arkansas. And there was no KOA in the area, but we did find a good, nice, clean RV park that we stayed at. It was the Indian Springs RV Park. It's over in the industrial part of town, so there's um, like the Hug and Haul equipment sales or manufacturer or whatever. There's quite a bit of
There's some oil
manufacturing.
refineries. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, there's a lot in this area. There's also a small airport, like a landing strip not far from the RV park, and a lot of train activity. Now, I can't pretend to know which one of those things was probably disrupting our signal, but something definitely was.
Yeah, we figured out it was like a rhythm. It
Yes.
would go so long and then it would lose a ping. It would go so long and lose a ping. So far, that's the only place, and I assume it's the airport. It had to be that we're camping right next to an airport.
Yeah, it's like a 20-minute pulse when I was watching the network statistics, like every 20 minutes we would lose 15 seconds, which is fairly significant if you're trying to do a Zoom call or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the great thing is it really works good. We have it on a tripod
Mhm.
where I can set it out and move it around. I can even take it up on top. I mean, it's just really easy to deal with that way. In the Brinkleys, they have the pass-throughs where these covers you can take off and you can put them. You can even put it on top, wired in hardwire on top if you wanted to. Really easy to use, but this is the first time I've had any issues, and this
Yeah, the
is all the
first
way
time.
from here to Maine, back through all the different places in Missouri and back to the house. So
Yep.
something to think about if you're going on a trip and you have to have internet to do your job. Um, watch for those types of areas. It seems like the more rural, the better with Starlink.
It does. And so that's very rural Arkansas. And so we thought, man, this is going to be great. Now, there were some really, really tall pine trees around and different, big hardwood trees in this area, but our obstruction map still looked pretty good for the type of loss that we were experiencing. Like we had it in a lot more tree cover in Pigeon Forge and had a perfect signal.
Yeah, and I remember once in Maine that when I walked around the trailer, I was like, wow, where's a good clear view of the sky? And I just had kind of lanes, and it worked fine.
Mhm.
Um, this had to be something else.
Yeah.
But what complicated this even worse, if you don't know, and I don't guess this has happened ever before that I'm aware of, but Starlink completely went dead.
Yeah, worldwide. There was a worldwide outage Thursday. It was Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, and it's all of a sudden it completely went dead. I was on top of the trailer trying to move this tripod around. You name it, right? I was thinking about moving campsites. An email would have been nice, or a text message saying Starlink's
Email.
having an outage.
Apparently, they put it on Twitter. Or wait, X.
X, yeah. So
But we're not on X. So, you know how I found out it was a outage? I had been gone to my conference and then I get back and he's like, "Man, something's wrong with the Starlink." And he was having trouble joining calls and all the things. And so I kind of start doing some network investigating and I'm like, "Wow, like there's nothing." So I use my cell phone and go type in, "Is there a Starlink outage right now?" And then all these posts start coming up. And actually, it was a Reddit thread. It was a Reddit
yeah,
thread. And a lot of other people were like, it would be nice if they would notify us
yeah,
somehow.
it would have helped. I mean, there's so many people that are working from these places, from these RVs, and we count on that. So we know that we have to have a backup as well. So if something could go wrong, we get that. That's part of it. We use our phones. We have plenty of phone plans for backups and things like that. I think there's probably some other good hotspot type stuff for backups, and you should have a backup if your livelihood depends on it. But anyway, this is the only time we've had any problem with this whatsoever.
Yep.
And we've been in some really deep, dark woods, and we've been in some major New York cities, and it's been fantastic.
Yeah. So, Starlink, if you're listening, how about an email or a text message? I mean, we pay a lot of money for this service. So, I think that that's not too much to ask.
So the tip here, watch your airports and refineries. If you're going to go somewhere and stay for a couple of weeks, just Google map it, look what's around. You might want to stay away from those areas. I could see why an airport would interfere. It makes perfect sense. And then lastly, we really wanted to know, this is the first time on this trip, as well as the trip you just mentioned, that we've really been in some severe hot weather.
Oh, yes. It was very hot.
Um, you know, 100 plus type
Hmm.
weather with really high humidity. I will tell you, traditionally, that means you're just uncomfortable. You just have to deal with it. As we walk through RV parks and stuff, we're looking and we see people with the exact same situation we used to be in. And you'll see both top units running, sometimes three. And then you'll see these little add-on window units. I mean, they're doing everything they can
Hmm.
to make it.
Yeah.
I was very, very happy to see, because I did not know, and I mean, just because it's a Brinkley and whatever, it's a very popular brand, it was comfortable like the house. As a matter of fact, you open the door and you could just feel cold rush over you
Yeah.
when you open the door. That chill cube unit is spectacular, and I'll tell you why. It's like a split system. Also, I've always struggled with, should they be ducted or not be ducted.
Hmm.
And I will tell you, I love that chill cube, and it's got the oscillating door, and it blows directly into the room.
Hmm.
I brought that thing down to 68, 69, 70 degrees. I mean, just real strong, right? I mean, it took maybe 15, 20 minutes to get this thing cooled off, and I could bring it as low as I wanted to. It felt like home, and that's really what the mark we had to hit, because we talked about eventually living in this thing.
Hmm.
There's nothing worse than going through a summer and having your back frying and your face freezing.
Yeah, we've been there.
We've been there. I don't feel lots of heat coming in from the slides, all that stuff. So at least this one, I can say, wow, this thing feels like home. So
All right. So let's go to Dollywood.
here we go.
Here we go. Guys, it was hot.
Oh, it was so hot.
So hot.
That air conditioner was sounding really good when we went there.
It was. Um, Tennessee, Smoky Mountains in June, you can bet you're probably going to be 90s, upper 90s, or hundreds. I think we were upper 90s, teetering around the 100-degree mark the day we were there. It was hot. If you're not familiar with the Dollywood theme park, there are actually a couple of things. So there is the theme park, there's also a water park, and then they have two resorts, the Dream More and the Heart Song. Those have lodging and different things, and they're all kind of right there together on this Dollywood property. So we did not do any of those except the theme park. So we did plan one day to go to the theme park, and we've been wanting to do this for a while.
Yeah, I don't guess we do water parks. Sitting here thinking about it, it's like, when's the last time we said we could? I don't think we do water parks.
No, our
Maybe that's
kids were
not our thing.
little when last time we went to Whitewater somewhere. But we have been wanting to go check out Dollywood. The reason why is because, and we've told you this before, we love Silver Dollar City.
Absolutely. So the first thing we said before we ever left is this is going to be anything compared to Sodar City. Is this going to be a bust? And I can say it was not. It was nice.
It was nice. Um, Actually, what we found out is that by doing a little bit of research, is that Dollywood and Silver Dollar City are owned by the same amusement company. And I can't remember, it's like the Herman Brothers,
Something Brothers. Yeah.
something like that. Don't quote me on that because as soon as I said it, I know it's wrong. But here's what was cool about that is that when we walked up to get our tickets, we were like, "Hey, we're Silver Dollar City season pass holders." And they're like, "Oh, cool. Do you have it?" Well, we did because they're digital now. So we pulled up our season passes and we got half price tickets
Yeah.
at Dollywood.
You know, it's funny. Later in this trip, we go back by Sodar City after we go all the way from Maine and back to Missouri, back down
Yep.
the, all the way back down the country or whatever. There was an old man there that works. He, does some janitorial services and stuff at Silver City, and he told me that story. He's like, they're so proud of it. Do you know that the Dollywood was the original Silver City?
It was. And then 40 years ago, was it 40? Yep. In 1986, Dolly became partners with them and one guy told us that she owns 51% of the company and that's why they rebranded it Dollywood. We heard another story that Silver Dollar City, just like the theme of it, wasn't really working in the Smoky Mountains like they thought it would. And so they rebranded it to Dollywood and it became a success. And Silver Dollar City works in Missouri. We love it. It's great. But it's really cool that there's so many similarities as you're going through the park. It almost feels like the same place, but a little bit different.
Yeah, it's same place as far as being in the mountains. I guess maybe Tennessee is just all about Nashville. I mean, it's just kind of when you think Tennessee, you think of Nashville.
Yep,
And I guess those folks loved more the country music theme than the I don't know what you want to call it, the hillbilly theme.
I guess.
But yeah, it was fantastic. It's cool that it lays in this valley
Hmm.
or this what was that term? Wadi? Something like that.
Something like that.
But it's really high on both sides and it's laying in this valley.
Hmm.
And so it's just kind of neat. The parking was great.
Yeah.
Just like Silver City, you can just pull up, park anywhere, jump on a shuttle, and you're in.
Yep.
Not a lot of walking. Um, really is, they really have a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is when you finally get in the park here, right off the bat, there's a few things that are different.
Hmm.
What do you want to call it? Like,
Yeah, like the theaters are different and when you look around, everything has her imprint on it.
yeah,
Where in Silver Dollar City, it's more Old West kind of themed. You think about the saloons and you look around at like the old log cabins and all the different things. And while they also have like a craft portion at Dollywood, it's more 50 style, I
yeah.
think.
You see a few things for sure. You see the country music influence.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, you get to see the tour buses and the shows and all that. There's also a really strong her faith comes out
Yes.
a lot throughout the park, and I loved that. About everywhere I looked, I could see her sharing her faith. So you got the country music, the 50s, her sharing her faith, and then you still have the Silver Dollar City kind of experience, like all the different old mills and stuff like that.
Yeah, and there's still a steam train. Actually, they have a big steam engine
Yeah,
train.
Silver Dollar City, I think, is running some of those smaller, older ones,
Hmm.
but that one is big.
Yeah,
It
we
looks like
should have
something.
ridden it.
Yeah, we stood in line, and Weston had some other things he wanted to do, but yeah, we probably should have ridden that.
We should have ridden it. So one cool thing that I liked about it is where I think one of our favorite things about Silver Dollar City is there seems to be lots of shade in different places. There's not a lot of shade here. It's more open down in that valley, like you said. But they've done some things to help create shade, like the umbrella walkway.
That was really cool. When I first seen that, I thought, "Oh, that looks good." But then when I walked there, like you said, the temperature dropped 20 degrees. And I was like, how in the
Yes.
world is this working? But basically, it was just a whole street with umbrellas turned upside down.
Yep.
And it created a shade, but it also let the light through and it created a bunch of colors.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
It's really neat. I've got a good picture of it that we'll throw out on the website for you. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you're probably looking at it right now because we do have a YouTube channel. But when you walk in, the first street you're going to be on is Show Street, and then the Show Street Palace Theater is there. There are several theaters in the park, and they have a pretty good show lineup. I mean, you can imagine this is only like 3 hours from Nashville. So I would imagine that a lot of rising stars or rising bands, if they could get a Dollywood gig where they're playing their show 3 or 4 times a day, sometimes through the summer, this is probably a big deal. So you can check those out. When we were there in June, it was the Smoky Mountain Summer Celebration, which kind of makes me giggle because we go all the way around to Silver Dollar City and it's like the Star Spangled Summer Celebration.
Yeah.
So, of course, very similar to what we're used to.
Fantastic rides. They had some of the biggest roller coasters and stuff. There were some good rides in this place.
Yes, there really was.
I was kind of disappointed because they had so my favorite ride at Silver Dollar City is Fire in the Hole.
Yep.
That's always been our thing. And then of course they abandoned mine, but that's different. But when we got here, they had a similar Fire in the Hole. It wasn't called Fire in the Hole. It was
Yeah,
something
something
like that.
Fury.
But it was closed, and so
Yep.
I didn't get to ride it. But if anybody knows what that thing's like, that I would like to see that. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna go back and get to ride that ride.
Yes, for sure. I think what when we went in, so first of all, when we got up, Weston didn't want to get around, so he didn't go with us at the beginning. But he was like, "In a little bit, when I get up, will y'all come and get me?"
Yeah.
And so we are like, "Yeah, it's not that far, so we'll do that." So we went on to the park and we looked for the buildings with AC, and we happened into the Dolly Experience. Um, this was the coolest museum that talked about her childhood and her life growing up and her breaking out into her career. It had stories and costumes and instruments, family photos, photos with friends. There's like a whole hallway, both sides of her with other celebrities and famous people and artists and things like that. And then such a beautiful expression of her faith. And I'm telling you guys, I don't know that I would have necessarily called myself a Dolly Parton fan. I've always loved Dolly Parton, but I wouldn't just like fangirl over her. But after I left this museum, I really love her.
Yeah. Yeah, when people talk about her, even the people working there when they talk about her, it's such a fondness. But here's what we learned too. There were so many things she's doing, like the books for the kids.
Yes,
She is a giver, apparently. I mean,
very
there's
much
so
a
many
giver.
things that she was doing to help people. I mean, she came from, a very poor, humble beginning,
Yep.
and very smart businesswoman too, apparently, right? I mean, like a really smart businesswoman.
Yes.
And then to give back, I think probably the first, I don't know, two or three places we stopped had shows and things like that. But right there, there's always something about her philanthropy.
Yes. Something about her giving back. Y'all, the world is a better place because Dolly Parton is in it.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a cool story.
Yeah, it is. And then when we left there, we did go on her tour bus, which was really cool. I forget how old they said it
It
was.
was old, but if you look at RVs today, this was the deal. I mean, you could pull it up in an RV park today, and people would be like, "Wow!" I mean, it was really nice.
Yeah, listen, if you are an RV person, you have to go tour Dolly Parton's bus. It was so fun just to look at like the microwave was so big.
Yeah,
This big old microwave. And then she had a private bathroom in the back. There was another bathroom. Her best friend traveled with her and she had her own bunk. And so it's really cool just to get to walk through there and just knowing how we love our RVs today and compare it to That was one of the I mean, that was like the fancy rig on the road back then.
Oh, it was cutting edge.
And so to be able to see that was so cool. I just loved it. Even though it was 100, I had to go in there. But if it were cooler weather, I probably could have perused around in there forever because it was so cool to get to see
A
it.
lot of cool stories about the guy who drove her bus was also her manager and how he took care of her.
Yes.
That you don't, I mean, you just don't hear that anymore, right? So
Yeah, and the people who were working at the tour bus, the lady, she was so good. She told such great stories and talked about the relationship building and all of those things that just make Dolly
I'll
everybody love her.
be honest. When we first walked in, I thought it was a little bit corny. I mean, I'm a Dolly Parton fan, right? But I'm not necessarily, I'm not the right age to be a super fan.
Right.
But the first people that we met, they were just like head over heels for, and I was like, yeah, if I worked here, I'd tell the story too, right? This is fun. But I mean, it just kept going and just kept
Yeah.
going, and you could tell that it was genuine. They
Mhm.
really did care about her. She done a lot for that area. So if you think about Dollywood and you think about that nice RV park we were at, which by the way, when we would go back and get Weston, we could be back in the park in a half hour.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's so close and convenient. But you get outside that area, there's nothing there,
Mhm.
right? Nashville may have been a big thing, but this was there's nothing here.
Mhm.
So her her business mind and the way she did it improved a lot of lives.
Yeah.
So
So as we were wrapping up the Dolly Parton Experience is actually what it's called, the little museum there. There was a guy standing over toward the exit door, and he was really friendly. And I said, "Hey, is she here?" And he kind of giggled, and he was like, "Who?" I said, "You know who?" And then we kind of laughed, and he said, "No, she's not here today." He said, "She was here for the grand opening of the park this year because it's our 40th anniversary." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." So this is the 40th anniversary that it's actually been Dollywood, but it was Silver Dollar City a few years before that.
yeah, I think he said she does make an annual visit though,
Yeah.
not just for the 40, but every year she's there at some point in time.
Yeah, and he said that she would probably be back more this year, just because it is the 40th year and there's lots of different celebrations going on. So he was like, if you really want to catch her here, go watch the Facebook and the website and see when we're doing special events because she's definitely usually here for those types of things. So I thought that was fun. Whenever you walk out of the museum, then we went over to the tour bus, and as you wind around there, you go through these different little spots in the park. And I thought it was really cool. We learned about Red's Drive-In the museum. And this was a 50s diner style drive-in that serves burgers and fries right there, kind of on the strip. And it was inspired by Red's Cafe in Sevierville, Tennessee, where Dolly used to eat as a kid, and she has a lot of fond memories. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, so much of this park is her inspiration for things like that.
Yeah, definitely. And she wanted to honor the family that owned Red's Cafe, and so they put Red's Drive-In the park, and I thought that was fun. After that, we made our way down to the cinnamon bread because, I mean, I've
Well,
heard
you have to
so,
have cinnamon bread, so this stuff is
I've
this stuff
heard
is fantastic. We also wanted to compare that with Silver Dollar City.
Yes, we did. I've heard so much about this cinnamon bread. I listened to a podcaster, Annie F. Downs, and she loves Dollywood and she loves cinnamon bread. And so I really had to go see if this cinnamon bread was going to live up to the hype of how much Annie loves it. And I have to say, it was really good.
It's really good. I mean, don't eat before you go eat the cinnamon bread.
Yes,
It's a full loaf
it is a
of
full
bread,
loaf.
and so to eat that, I don't know if she ate it at all or not, but if you do, you're gonna be done. I mean, you need to take a nap with this stuff. It's really good, really sweet, really cinnamony, really buttery.
Oh,
It was in the old meal, so you go in an old meal to get it was kind of cool.
yep, that was cool.
But yeah, this stuff is fantastic. It's just as good as Silver Dollar City.
Yes, it was good. Um, so heads up, if you go by there and buy your cinnamon bread, you're gonna have to carry that around for the rest of the day in the park. But I'm sure it's like Silver Dollar City where you can have it sent up to the front and then you can pick it up on your way out. There's
Yeah,
probably something like that going on too. But we wanted to eat it while it was hot. And so we had to take it right then. and we went out to the little table outside, and the two of us could not finish that
Well, you
loaf.
have to eat it while it's hot. That's the whole point,
We
and you
just could.
couldn't eat it. So the best thing for you to do is find a buddy or something and share because it's a lot.
Yeah, and you might want to take a wipes like in your backpack or something, because you're gonna have that stuff all over
And
you.
water.
It is so ooey gooey, sweet, heavenly goodness. They also give you buttercream icing to dip it in or apple butter. And you can buy more apple butter down there in the mill as well. And they bake this fresh every day. So, I mean, I'm not even kidding. If you're not even a bread eater, you have to plan to eat bread this day because it's amazing. All right. Well, while we were right smack dab in the middle of eating our cinnamon bread, guess who called?
Who?
Weston.
Oh, West.
And he was like, "Hey, can y'all come get me?" And we're like, "Dude, we literally just walked to the heart of the park." But we told him we would, so we left and went and got him.
We got our steps this day, that's for sure.
We did get our steps in like 18,000 or something. So we ran and got Weston, and wouldn't you know it, he was hungry right
Yeah,
after we
had
stuffed
to stop,
ourselves with
go eat it,
cinnamon.
feed him, and reset everything.
But we did find this good little restaurant in the park called Aunt Granny's, and it was like family style, and it was actually really, really good park food.
I'll say this. So a little criticism for both Silver Dollar City and Dollywood. It wouldn't hurt to have some really good commercial style food.
I
Now, I
agree.
will say we never go hungry in here,
Yeah,
right? And this place is really good to eat, but I think they would get a lot of business. Maybe there's a reason why they can't do that because there's so many people or whatever. This is good. This is the only home style meal that really set down home style meal in the park. So at least they had this, and most parks don't,
that's
right?
true.
So most parks want to serve you lots of chicken strips and stuff like that, and so this was really good. But I think that all theme parks could benefit from some really great food.
Me too, because we're always like, oh, wait, we got to go eat before we can go to the park because we're afraid.
Yeah. Maybe the people who really ride a lot of rides don't want to eat. Maybe
Maybe.
that's it. But for us, we're always wanting to
We're
eat.
more show seers
So.
and we're looking for the food. We want the food. Um, the frozen lemonade at Silver Dollar City, like, it's a whole thing, y'all. And if it's icy style, that is not the same thing.
Yeah, they did not offer that.
They didn't have the Silver Dollar City frozen, sure enough, frozen lemonade that they dip out of the frozen stainless steel
That stuff
vat.
must be horrible for you because it's so good.
It's very good. It is very good. But this Aunt Granny's restaurant, I have to say, exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the old meal
Yeah.
outside the park, of course. But we're always looking for great food. Like, so we're kind of foodies, we're kind of connoisseurs. So we really look for like, this is the best food in this area.
Yeah, we do.
So nothing wrong with this place. It was good, but that old meal, oh man.
Yeah, the old mill in Pigeon Forge, y'all gotta go eat there.
And really that old meal is just a few minutes, right? So we mentioned it takes 30 minutes to go get Weston and come back out of the RV park. It probably would take a lot less than that just to go to the old mill and eat.
Oh,
So,
yeah, probably. And that 30
or at least
minutes
to get
was,
there.
yeah, that 30 minutes was parking, tram, and like entrance back to the
Yeah,
entrance.
this stuff
It's really fast,
really handy area.
really fast. Dollywood also has a really cool eagle sanctuary. It's called Eagle Mountain. Um, okay, I have a thing about eagles, y'all. So I don't think we've talked about this yet, but my love for wildlife is probably somewhat unhealthy, and I absolutely love to get to see bald eagles. And there were so many eagles. I tried to count them. I couldn't even count them.
Yeah, and the enclosure was cool too because it was the side of a mountain. That was
Yes.
fun.
It was amazing. It's actually 30,000 square feet, this aviary is. And like Charlie said, it's built into the side of the mountain. There's so many trees that they can perch on, and they were perched up in there. And then it's just huge netting, and you can walk all along the side of it and see the eagles. This is a partnership with the American Eagle Foundation and is under the direction of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. It is the largest number of non releasable bald eagles that are housed in the US. And it actually is right there inside Dollywood. Unfortunately, I didn't take my big camera because it was way too hot and I didn't want to carry it around in a theme park. I just couldn't get great pictures with my cell phone. So I have some poor quality photos that I'll put up for you, but just know they're not my best work. And it really broke my heart because I love eagles. And that was a great situation where if I would have had my good camera, I could have gotten great pictures of eagles in a natural setting where you don't get that so often. Like if you photograph them at the zoo, you can tell they're in the zoo. This was so the natural landscape and inside their aviary is so awesome. It was just beautiful to be able to see it. So that's something that you can look forward to, especially if you're not a ride rider. Those types of things are really cool. Unfortunately, we were not there at a time where the handlers were going to have some of the eagles out, but they do that sometimes. So you might check the schedule and see when they're going to have the eagles out so you can be a little more up close and personal to them. I would have loved that. So if there's any one reason why I would want to drive back to Dollywood, it's so I can go to the Eagle show and be up close to the eagles. As you go on down, remember that chapel?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things. I love all these old churches.
Mm-hmm.
So our city's got one. It's
Yep.
more of a cabin. This one's more of a, it's a cabin too, but it's a little bit more modern.
Yeah.
They had a couple of guys out on the front porch and they were playing bluegrass music, so that was fun for me.
Yes.
Big bluegrass fan, big background in my family of bluegrass. But this old church I just love these old churches.
Mm-hmm.
And then you add the bluegrass too. This was my favorite spot. So
Yeah, and if we
go
had been
figure,
there,
right?
if we had been there on Sunday, they actually do church there every Sunday at 11:30 during the regular season, and then during their Smoky Mountain Christmas celebration, they have church every day at 4 p.m. when the park is open. So that would have been really cool
That would have been cool.
to go to church there in the Smokies.
You know, we said it before, but everywhere you go in this park, you're going to see her faith, and it's cool.
It's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. The church is also beautiful, and I did get a couple of pictures of some of the artwork that's hanging up in there. I thought it was cool. There were those quilts that had like the crucifixion scene and some different things on them. What talent! I mean, that's
Yeah, I
awesome.
mean this when we say beautiful, this is an old mountain church, if that's beautiful to you, right?
Yes.
So, um, a lot of that stuff you can tell she's just put her touch on it.
It's actually called the Robert F. Thomas Chapel, and it's named after Robert F. Thomas, who's the doctor who delivered her.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
that's a fun little fact. All right, well, Weston was itching to ride a couple of rides. Not as many as usual, because usually he's running me through the park until I'm weary. And since I'm the ride rider, um, he's running me from roller coaster to roller coaster. But I don't know, this day he wasn't feeling it quite so much. But we did ride 3 rides. The Mystery Mine, which is it's a roller coaster.
So this was meant to be, in my mind, another abandoned mine like from the Silver City if you've rode that one. So this is a ride that you're not
Yes.
getting jostled around on. You're inside. It's like kind of an interactive ride. So I'm thinking, hey, this is what this is going to be.
Yeah, that's what we thought.
And man, were we wrong. It's a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster.
As a matter of fact, this thing, I had a sore neck for a couple of days. I mean, this is a major roller coaster in my mind. Um, most of these are, you know, these are some really good high-end rides. So for the roller coaster lovers, this is a good place for you.
Yeah, I think Weston and I agree that we may have ridden. Now listen, there's some angst around this, but maybe we rode the best roller coaster of our life at Dollywood, and it was called the Lightning Rod. Now here's the thing. It's over in that 50s era where like by Red's Diner and there's like a old mechanic shop looking thing with some old cars, remember?
That's
Some
where I
like
was at, the old cars.
yeah,
Yeah.
the fixed up classic cars. And when we sat down in the roller coaster seat, it starts revving a car engine. Like that's the sound
Oh, no
effect.
wonder Weston liked it.
Yeah. So it was like vroom, 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 like we were fixing to take off in this hot rod. And then it blast out of there, kind of like the powder keg at Silver Dollar City, except it's a lot different ride than the powder keg. And it was so much fun. If we were in a riding mood, we would have been back on that one. And if it wasn't 100 degrees, I think. But we did ride that one and it was a whole lot of fun. So maybe it's our favorite roller coaster, but man, we would have a hard time ranking them. And then you rode the Wild Eagle with us.
I rode this ride for one reason. I have never seen a ride like it anywhere. It was an actual eagle, and it's hard to describe. So imagine a huge iron eagle with his wings spread out.
Yep.
And underneath it, on the left and right, under the wings, you're sitting there, but your feet are hanging.
Yep.
So I think, at least in my mind, this ride is meant to be like an eagle soaring. And I was like, hey, I got to ride this ride. But there's a picture of it. It's crazy. Um, just to imagine this big eagle, and you're basically, there's chairs under his wings, probably two or three deep on both sides. But it's just meant to soar. But it was a really cool ride.
It was a very cool ride. If you've ridden the Wildfire at Silver Dollar City, you know your feet dangle on the Wildfire. Those are always fun roller coasters when your feet dangle. But when there's a giant eagle above you and it's like he's holding you and just soaring around with you, that was cool, I have
Yeah,
to say.
it's almost like when you know how they'll turn and roll and all that. That's what this did.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So, that was our ride experience at Dollywood. We need to go back when the weather's cooler so we'll feel like riding more rides because there are lots of other rides. There's also water rides, and that's what you love, but nobody in the family ever wants to ride them with
Yeah,
you.
nobody ever wants to ride the log flume. That's too old fashioned. But
Um, but the next time we need to go when it's just a little bit cooler so that we can try out the water rides and still feel like getting on the big roller coasters that
when
can
you're
also dry
planning
you
a
off.
trip that's a month long and that many miles, you're going to have some climate changes.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it's just part of it.
for sure. Okay, well, that was our day at Dollywood. So I guess we should wrap up with Dollywood versus Silver Dollar City. What do you think? Do you have thoughts?
Man, they're close.
They're close.
They're both great in their own way. I would go with Silver Dollar City, and here's why. It's just because it's close and just because we grew up there as kids, right?
Yes.
That's the only reason. Dollywood, and they're developed by the same people, ran by the same people. They're the same park in my mind. I would say that the roller coaster people, though, Dollywood might edge them out because there's some really cool roller coasters there.
Yeah.
If you like to walk around and see shows and do the old stuff, maybe Silver Dollar City is your way to go.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think if Dollywood were 3 hours away from us instead of Silver Dollar City, it would probably be my favorite. And I would be like, I'd probably drive 12 hours to see Silver Dollar City, but I'm not like, yay, I can't wait to go back.
Sure.
So that I think is how I feel about it. It's hard because Silver Dollar City is 3 hours away. And we're like, we love Silver Dollar City because we can go anytime we want. So if I had the choice, I would probably choose. They're close enough. I would probably choose to go back to Silver Dollar
Now,
City.
sometimes we go to Silver Dollar City just because it's a weekend.
Yeah.
Right. So,
But I'm also really happy that we went to Dollywood. I love that we got to go through the museum and just really see her heart for people.
sure.
And it makes me love her oh so much.
Well, we're fixing to get to two of my favorite things ever.
Yes.
And we've been a couple of times. One is the Ark and one is the Creation Museum.
Yep.
So I'll just say this. Anytime I'm in a place where people are sharing their faith, I'm happy,
Yes.
right? So there's just something about those places. We talked about the Great Passion Play and how much we love that and how much the Spirit moves in those weekends. And there's just something about that. So I'm partial. So when it comes to Dollywood or Silver Dollar City, I just feel like these are good family places. And I will say Dolly has shared her faith a lot
Yes.
throughout this park. And so that there's kind of a special thing there too. So I might just go back just for that very reason.
Yep. And I kind of want to pet an eagle.
And pet a eagle.
I don't know if it's allowed, but hey, if they'll let you pet them, I want to pet one. Um, all right. So Charlie kind of gave you a glimpse into what's coming up on episode 21, and I know I'm about a week behind getting this one out, so these might come out fairly close together. I also have school starting this week, so there may be a slowdown in our future because this is a lot of work to y'all. But we do want to do the Ark Encounter and probably the Creation Museum. That might be one episode, probably episode 21.
Yeah, there's a lot to cover there. These are fantastic places. I mean, your Bible comes to life in these places. I can geek out on that all day long. So,
Yeah, they are truly magnificent. So
where else are you going to find a full-size ark floating in the woods in Kentucky, right? I mean, that's just cool in itself.
amazing. It's amazing, y'all. So if you've been toying with the idea of going to the Ark Encounter, just pull the trigger and do it because you are not going to be sad that you did.
No, not at
It
all.
is worth it. It's amazing. Dollywood was worth it. Everything on this trip so far has been worth it, and we are really excited to share it with you.
Yeah, it's really a blessing to get away like that with the family and have some fun and again, just really get away and slow down. And it's more about the journey. It's more about spending time together than it is the destination. So it's hard to be put out by any destination, right? Even if it's not exactly what you thought it was going to be. Um, man, you're blessed. You're with your family. You're having fun, and you're not working. So that's always good for me.
Exactly. All right. Well, don't forget to check us out on social media. On Facebook, we are Highways and Hilltops. On Instagram, we are Jodi Charlie Keith. And you can check out that hashtag traveling scout in your search bar if you want to go see all the things that Scout's been up to. I've also been doing some funny shorts with Scout, and he's pretty popular for YouTube shorts. So I think his last one's like at 3,600 views and 60 likes. So if you want to go see what he's been up to and all the funny ways that I've been able to capture his personality, it's been fun to do those shorts. But as I mentioned, school starts next week, so this creative life will slow down for me just a little bit. If you are loving what we're doing, please tell us because we don't make any money for this, y'all. So so it would be nice to get some feedback. You can email us at Jodi, Jodi, at highwaysandhilltops.com. You can drop a direct message on our Instagram or Facebook Messenger or, whatever, all the ways. But we just hope that you're loving it and we can't wait to share more with y'all. So we will see you down the road. I
Yeah,
think that's it.
so get out this week and find your adventure. Your family will thank you for it.
That's right. That's right. Hope you're having a great summer, and we hope between now and the next time we connect that you're able to go find something fun to do. We'll see ya.
See you next time.